Hey everybody, it's Dina Rico with the Creativity Cave, and don't let my stuffed up nose fool you. I might feel like crap, but I have a fabulous, fabulous project to share with you. This card is so awesome because it is the answer to a challenge. So I had used my Big on Birthday stamp set, I think last week, and I'd made this card, and this was a big hit. Everybody seemed to like it. I have to say, I love it. It's one of my most fabulous creations. But we looked at the set, and while the set is fantastic, there is this one stamp that we kind of can't get over. And by I say we, I mean collectively, us, all of us, because you guys have commented on this, because I asked, of course, and whenever I ask, you guys always come through. But I thought the stamp is just not very nice. I think from what I gather, it's kind of a saying from like the South, but I'm not familiar with this one here. I think it's if like you're super old, but at least you're still pretty, I think is the gist of it. But I thought, well, it's just not very nice. But I love the image. I love the stuff in here. So I was challenged. I was challenged to come up with a solution for this image so that the stamp set would be great. And I think I have totally come up with that. In fact, I've come up with a couple other things too that I'll show you. But I just love how this card turned out. Oh my gosh. This is one of those things where it's like your crowning achievement in stamping for the day. So let me show you how I put this together, because it is actually quite easy. So first of all, I'm going to start with a crumb cake cardstock card base. And let me just move the stuff aside here. And then I'll set that aside for now. I'm going to take and stamp. I have just a scrap here. So I'm going to take and stamp this in Old Olive ink. And I'm stamping it on Old Olive cardstock. And then I'm going to trim it down. It is pretty easy to stamp this, but, and I'll show you. I just happen to have this size scrap left over from something. So I'm going to get my butt out so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm stamping it on here, I think fairly well centered, we'll see. And this is one of those larger size stamps, so I'm giving it good pressure. And hopefully, oh, it was that extra, oh, I know it. So this turned out fantastic. So now I'm going to quick trim this. And I'm also going to create a layer of Pear Pizzazz that's just a little bigger. Okay, so give me 1 second. You can listen to me do it. Trim my paper. What are you guys thinking? Okay, almost done. All right, so I've got a little border. You know what, that's bugging me. I need to trim off just like a 1/16 of an inch. Oh my gosh. This kind of, there we go. This kind of, that is so much better. Oh my gosh, the difference is amazing. I'm kidding. It kind of depends on how you stamp it, and I'll give you in my blog post the descriptions in the, or I mean the link to the blog is in the description. I'm sorry, you guys. Can you tell I don't feel very well? I'm so sorry, but I really wanted to shoot this video for you. So I'll have all the dimensions and everything in my blog post, but they're a teeny bit wiggle roomy with this one, just because it kind of depends on how closely you trim it out and whatnot. So anyway, all right, so I have this mounted, and I'm going to place it on my card here. And then there's this big kind of bow stamp. It comes in the stamp set. And oops, I don't want to stamp it in black though. I'm going to stamp it in white. Okay, I love the look of white ink on craft cardstock, big time. I mean, I really love it. So what I'm going to do is stamp these kind of look, this is, I think, meant to be a bow on like on the top of a package, but this to me looks like brackets almost, or a decorative something or other. So what I'm doing is just positioning this so I have an idea of where it should be. And we're stamping by faith just a touch. And we did a good job. The stamping gods were with us today. I love it. I love when that happens. Now, almost with us. You see, I caught a little bit here and here, and that's on my stamp. So you know what I think we should do about that? Well, first of all, we should clean our stamp, because that just makes this next part a lot easier if we clean it. But what I'm going to do is a little stamp surgery. I don't know if you guys ever do this, but sometimes it's really important. I'm just going to trim out this excess photopolymer, and then hopefully I won't catch that edge anymore. I think I'll be in good shape. Okay. So now I can stick that back on there. All right. Next, I have a scrap piece of crumb cake that I have left over, and I'm going to stamp happy birthday in Whisper White as well. And I'm doing this ahead of time just so it has a chance to dry a little bit. Okay, so that worked out great, and I'll just set that aside. Then let's come back to this piece and work on this a little bit. So we still have to get rid of it. At least you're still pretty, because I think many of us agree, not all, but many of us agree that that is just stupid. So I'm going to punch 2 medallion flowers. All right. And I love this flower punch because it is just the perfect size to cover this up. Now I'm going to curl the edges just a little bit. I feel like I'm Monica in Friends when she's sick and she says she's fined. As you well know, I love Friends. Okay, now what I did is I offset the 2 of these, and I actually am going to flip the one curled down and then this one curled up on top, because you know how I like dimensional flowers, and that definitely does it. But before I do that, I'm going to take my colored watercolor pencils. Yay, these are back in stock. They were gone for just a short time because the demand has been quite high, because they're fabulous. But there's this Whisper White one. So what I am going to kind of do is mark what I believe to be about the center of this. And then I'm just going to kind of color in, and not perfectly, mind you, but I'm just kind of sketching in a little center to this. And I'm going a little longer on these wider petals and a little narrower, or shorter on the narrower petals. How's that for? And then a little shorter. So that kind of gives me a nice little center. And then if you need to add in a little, feel free. But I think that is kind of a fun way to decorate this, and it looks kind of cool. It's a great way to use your white, by the way. So I only did that on the top one because you're going to cover up most of the bottom one, so you won't see anything. So let me adhere this together, and I'm just going to offset these so the petals are right in between one another, like so. And then I'm going to place this on here. Now, I have a really, well, I like to use dimensionals, of course, because that's like my whole thing. So I'm going to put a couple dimensionals under there, and then I'll adhere it right to the top. But then when I was making this, I wanted to make sure that I covered all of the words, and I do that just fine. But it leaves this little curlicue at the end. But I think that's almost like something hanging out, like a leaf, or I think it's just a natural part of the flower. So I don't have a problem with that at all. All right, now I wanted to jazz it up a little bit, so I'm going to take a piece of vellum and my Petite Petal Punch. I love this punch. It's perfect in the center here, and I'll just put a glue dot in the middle because we'll cover that up. We'll cover that glue dot up with our next layer. Okay, so I'll put that right there. And you know, I'm just gonna curl each petal a little with my thumb. Now when I do that on vellum, it actually leaves a little bit of a white mark. Can you see that? It just kind of adds to it, and then it sort of goes with what I've got going on here anyway, so that's cool. Okay, and then last but not least, I'm going to take my trusty tree builder punch, which you know I use all the time, mainly for this little flower, but it has a lot of uses. Anyway, I'll place this also on a glue dot and in the center. And I like to kind of smoosh this so it's not just laying flat, it's dimensional as well. And then, of course, everything's better with something in the middle, bling-wise. So I'm going to take a pearl and place a pearl in the middle there. I don't know if you guys do this. I take these 3 long strips of pearls and I cut them apart so that I can use them individually instead of as strips. And then that gives you like 100 more pearls on your sheet, which is pretty awesome. Okay, so that is looking pretty good. Then I'm going to pop the whole thing up onto my card because, like I said, everything's better popped up. Wouldn't you guys all agree? And then last but not least, I'm going to add my little happy birthday to my card, and then I'm almost done. Now I have to tell you, I have really awesome projects planned for my weekly Facebook Live, which is going to be Monday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. It is on my calendar. So be prepared, guys. This will be every single week, unless I'm actually dying, which I don't plan on it, but you never know. Now, you can use your triple banner punch or your retired banner punch to punch these little ends. But you got to come for Monday because we're going to do some really cool techniques with the watercolor pencils, as well as I'm going to show you some projects. And I'm going to have a special awesome offer, which actually I'm going to put on my blog so you guys can take advantage of it on Sunday too, because it's Super Bowl Sunday. Who's excited? I mean, I can't wait to watch my commercials since I have no vested interest in these teams at all whatsoever. I don't want to complain or anything, but my sweet Green Bay Packers did not make it. I'm pretty sure. Okay, guys, sorry my video cut out. I have no idea why. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that my Green Bay Packers lost because I watched that whole last game and they seem to do better when I'm not watching them. Just saying. But so here's my card. I'm so excited about it. And don't worry, I'm taking good care of myself. I just had to get this video shot for you guys. And I wanted you to see it. Don't forget to check out my blog tomorrow as well, or today, when you're watching this. Go to the link, as well as my Facebook Live. That's the one that's tomorrow on Monday at 10 a.m. Central. If you are like working or whatever, you can check it out later because it will be posted. It is on my business Facebook page, and I will have a link to that in my blog. So make sure you go there and check it out because I'm going to have a sweet deal. And I hope you will check it out. As always, you guys, I love stamping with you. Thank you so much for every positive comment and vibe and feedback and goodness, and thank you. Anyway, I hope you like the card. I hope you like the video, and I hope you like the stamp set now that I figured out how to fix the stamp. So have a good night, guys. Bye.